Welcome to Girl Talk with your girl Melissa Ann, and today we have the boys as well as Andy. So it is Girl Talk with the boys, and we decided today that we are going to have a part 2 of We Ain't Got No Damn Topic.
Ain't got shit to talk about.
We ain't got shit to talk about. We just gonna ask some random ass questions and see what comes out. So without further ado, let's let the group introduce themselves and we'll start to get rolling. So, ladies first.
Well, here it is. This is Andy, Alejandra, whatever you'd like to call me. Just don't call me late. From Brooklyn, that's what it is.
Wepa.
Wepa.
All right, next from Brooklyn. We do Brooklyn.
Brooklyn repping, baby. We repping today.
Yep.
It's your boy, K. Diddy, Mr. Consistent. Always on the podcast from day one, baby. Let's get it.
All right, and then we got Pennsylvania in the house. Boop, boop, home place of Biden.
Well, you got Mike B in the house now down here representing the ATL as well.
ATL's in the building. All right, and last but not least, New York in the building.
Always, 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 Doc, a.k.a. Mr. 8000, here to enlighten you again.
Oh, enlighten you. Okay.
That's an SAT word.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
This guy.
Yes, so before we jump into our We Ain't Got No Damn topics, the first thing I want to ask you guys, there is a trend going on Instagram where parents are encouraging their kids to fight. So the mom or the dad may say, hey, I got a beef with somebody's parent, and I need you to come outside with me in case the kids start fighting. I need you to fight the kids. And some of the kids, you guys have seen the video, right?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you think about that?
I think, like I said earlier, those kids have some nice-ass rooms, number one. And I didn't grow up like that. I shared. And they had their own damn room. The girl in there chilling with her bonnet on, probably watching.
With her tablet.
Right. And probably got a freaking flat screen on the wall and a freaking sitting area with a little chair. That first of all, those kids don't know what fighting is with them nice-ass bedrooms. Number one.
Like no.
Right.
They
don't know what fighting is. That's what I say about it.
I mean, realistically, if you ever really been in a fight, you don't want to be in a fight. Unless you've been really punched in the face, you know you don't want to get punched in the face. And those parents who are saying, let's go fight, they've never been in a fight, and they're really, really, really stupid to bring their kid to get punched in the face.
Is that even real? Was it even real?
Yeah, they're real. It's like a challenge, like the latest challenge on Instagram. I don't think the kids are really going outside, but they want to see what their kids would do and say.
Okay, gotcha.
But like the kids, some of them was crying. But I don't want to fight my friend. But
Yeah, because they living in the lap of luxury.
Yeah. You don't want to get punched in the face.
There was a time when I was younger, right? And my sister, somebody was either picking on me or something, and I would say to my sister, or they would like challenge me for a fight. And my sister would be like, if you don't kick their ass, I'm going to kick your ass. So my older sister used to treat me like that, but we grew up in the hood. Those were things we had to do to fend for survival. This nonsense and challenges they have going on, that's ridiculous.
I agree. I think it's crazy too. I think they're doing a bit much to get some to get seen, to get views, all that. It's not even that interesting to me, to be honest with you.
That's the thing right there. You doing all of that just so that you could get likes and views. And I know eventually it turns into profit for you, but at what cost? Because now the kids, I'm like, okay, you doing all of that, right? But
Right.
when those kids grow up and they start fighting for real and kicking ass and taking names for real, then you're going to be like, I don't know why he act like that. I don't know why she act like that.
Right.
You encouraged it.
Well,
No, Kai's right. If you're living in a room like that, you ain't running to do no fight.
and I
Some
grew
of
up
them
like
was
Andy
down.
too. I
Huh?
grew up like Andy. I grew up in the hood, and my father told me that if you go out and get into a fight, you got your ass kicked. Guess what's going to happen when you came back home?
Yeah.
You got to fight me. And I was fighting. I was fighting every freaking day in New York in the project. I was that dude that everybody. I was the husky dude in the neighborhood that if a new dude came in the neighborhood, all the older dudes made me fight him as initiation into the project.
Right.
And I got tired of that shit. That's why I'm so.
Did you
That's
get
why.
beat up, or was you doing the ass kicking?
Yeah, I was the champ for a while, and then this one dude came into the neighborhood, and this ninja, he drugged me on that first floor on I forgot what the 770 Fountain Avenue, wherever we lived in Cypress Hills project. It was like UFC cage match, and that fool, he put it on me.
My dad was the maintenance in those projects.
Oh, really?
Yes. Cypress Hills. My mom used to work at HRE right across the street.
Oh, wow. You're taking it way back.
Way back.
No. I mean, I grew up like that too. You fought, and plus I was light skinned before it was cool to be light skinned. So you're fighting the white kids because you were too dark, and you're fighting the dark skinned black kids because you're too light. And believe me, you do not want to keep fighting every goddamn day. And you ain't definitely bringing your kid, especially when you're trying to show your kid a better way.
Right.
So these parents are stupid. Because if anything, the last thing you want to do is show your kid, hey, you want to go out and get punched in the teeth? Shoot. You don't want to swallow your own blood.
These challenges they got going on, they're ridiculous. A lot of them are just like so silly. It's like let me glorify terrible parenting, right? And so instead of showing kids like they do have nice ass houses. We didn't grow up like that, right? No. I grew up in a house, but it wasn't as nice as that house. And so it's like it just seems silly when the kid has so much and you still want to teach them to be bad. Like I think what it is that these kids are lacking street smarts. And so their parents are trying to instill street smarts, but they're really instilling stupidity.
I think it's just what Mike said. You want some daggone likes.
That's all it's for.
And you want some likes.
Yeah.
You can't teach street smarts.
Yeah.
I mean,
you want some likes.
I mean, most of the people doing street smarts are doing it so they can eat. These guys are doing it for
in those bedrooms, if my mother walked in that bedroom, I'd be like, "Mother, what are you talking about? You sound silly." I'd have been like Carlton from the Fresh Prince. I was like, "What the hell are you talking about, Mother? You're joking." I'd have been like, "All you're doing, you're trying to get likes."
But there's different ones. Like I've been watching some of them. That one girl was about it. Like she threw her bike down and was like, "What? Where we gotta go?" Like she was about it. One little boy just instantly was like, "What do you mean? Like, what's going on?"
That would have been me growing up in that bedroom. With a seating area.
Yeah,
I got a seating area with a TV on the wall. I'd be like, "Please, Mother, you're silly." I'd have been like what's my man Jim Carrey on that when he was the zookeeper or the animal hunter? Like,
Ace Ventura.
I'd have been like Ace Ventura.
I mean, seriously. I'm really serious. We live in a $500,000 house. Yeah, let's go out in the street and fight. Okay, Mom. Whatever. I'm following you right behind you. Shoot.
Oh, man. All right. So let's get into it. We ain't got no damn topic. So the first question I'm going to throw out, who wants to go next? We'll ask Mike to send out the next question. And then whomever goes after that. Because Mike's been quiet over here. But first question is, should women propose to men?
I don't think so. I think Kai made a point before about whether a woman should ask a man to be her man, and that I don't necessarily see a problem with. But I mean, generally, if a man is going to want you to be his girl, he's going to ask you. You won't have to. But going as far as a proposal, I don't think so. But I will say this, that if I was ready and, my girl was asking me to marry her, I'd probably pick her up and me get on my knees and propose to her. I wouldn't let her finish that out. But she would have to know that we are in the right place and we agreed on that. But she
What
laughed.
was it that Doc said in the chat? I didn't agree with what Doc said. What did he say in the chat? That women who do that, what? Let's see.
Trying to take the role of a man. Women are trying to take the roles of men.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Show me
Why
in the
you say
Bible
that?
where somebody proposed to somebody.
You know what? You can do what you want to do. Everyone can do whatever, how they ever want to feel. But that sooner or later, the man has got to be the leader. I mean, the guy's got to be the head of the household. And if you're telling me the wife's got to propose to you, that means she's taking on that role. And you know what? I've played sports my whole entire life. You always got to have one leader, one guy in charge. He disseminates the message, and everyone follows it. And it's usually the guy. And that's why the man is the head of the household. When you tell me the woman is doing all this other stuff, and you can say whatever you want, you can hem and haw, but at the end of the day, whenever you got a strong man running a family, the family usually does pretty good.
All right.
I mean, I think it's just the time that we live in, there's so much gender fluidity, right? That plays a piece into it, right? Gender roles are being switched. Like, I literally was walking in the supermarket, young man holding hands with a young woman. He looks like a girl and she looks like a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think that when we talk about it, right, there are pieces of that come into play. Now, if we're looking at a traditional man-woman, right, and I'm living by what I hope to be is Bible and the structure of the family, which is what I think Doc is speaking to, then I in my belief and my belief system, I would not propose to a man. I believe that he has to propose to me. I think we can have a relationship, like a conversation about our relationship and where we're going in the next step of marriage, but I'm not going to propose to him.
Yeah, you know what? And I asked the question, show me where that is in the Bible. Now, although you really hadn't seen that type of proposal, but what you did see was men did pursue the woman they wanted. So remember, who was it? I can't remember the guy's name in the Bible, and he wanted the man's.
Solomon and Bathsheba.
Well, no, I'm not talking about David and Bathsheba. I'm talking way before David. It was, he was going after somebody's daughter, and he was like, all right, you can have her, but you got to work for me 7 years. And he was like, all right, I'll do it. So he really loved that woman enough to where, look, the brother going to work for the dude for 7 years, and then guess what? After 7 years, Melissa, he was like, you can have the other daughter. But if you want this one that you want, you got to work another 7 years. And I think in total, he ended up working 21 years to get that woman, but he did it because he loved that woman. That's a special kind of love right there, and only God can give you that kind of love.
Yeah. I think what we have today in today's society is a lot of people not minding their own damn business. How does it affect me that someone else a woman is going to propose to a man? If that's what she wants to do, so be it.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect my bills. Like, we have a lot of stuff that people are just like up in arms about, and it's none of your damn business. Let them be them.
Yeah. That's true.
No. I mean, you asked me my opinion. I didn't say what you have to do, what's bad or what's different. But at the end of the day, when a woman...
But you take it personal. I'm just talking in general.
Oh, no. But the thing is that at one point or another, guys got to be guys. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And this whole gender fluidity,
Melissa,
I don't understand
every
it.
week talk about somebody taking it personal.
I know.
Every damn week.
I just don't...
I think he's relating
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I was just saying.
No, but
y'all all do.
He's relating it to his values, and you're speaking about Jacob and Rachel.
Jacob and Rachel, thank you. Praise God.
But the reason I'm saying, all right, are you Catholic now? All I'm saying is that it's all to the preference of the person, right? I think it's just the fact that if we look at what's happening today, right? more women are standing up and want to have less of a traditional role in a relationship than they have in the past. But if I'm following what I believe my belief structure tells me, my belief structure tells me that the man is the head, right? First it's the Lord, then it's the man, and then it's his family. So, but to people who are very feminist or really like, oh no, women have to be like number one or we have to be equal, they're lessening in that tradition or that belief.
I mean, a man can still be the head, right? If the woman proposes, is that she's not taking that away from him.
No, but
She may have taken that excitement away from him, but maybe he was going a little too damn slow. And she wanted to speed it up a little bit.
I agree with you on that, Melissa. I think that it doesn't necessarily take away. It doesn't necessarily take away from it. But I think I don't know if a man were to say yes to that and he wasn't ready. I mean, I don't.
That's a disaster, right?
Yeah, that would be a disaster.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampton, right? She proposed to him.
Who?
Jim Jones and Chrissy, the rapper.
Oh, she did?
She proposed to him.
Oh, that was.
Are they married?
No, it's a train wreck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, they're a mess altogether. It doesn't matter. They're just a hot mess. But like I said, I think that he's referring it to scripture, and the scripture says that I'm the prize, right? So if that is what you believe, then if I'm the prize, I'm not gonna give my prize to someone. I'm gonna have them come and want to with you.
I think, though, don't you think that it could be a little bit of desperation? Because, like,
I feel
people
like
ain't getting married as much as they used to, and men don't, they got to pick of the litter. So if you want to lock down.
Yeah, but the roles, like Alejandro
maybe
made a great point that these roles, the things that define men, we talk about this all the time. Back in the day, we brought home the bacon, the woman fried it up in a pan. But now women bringing home their own damn bacon. They got their own damn pans and the houses and the refrigerators. So the longer that kind of stuff goes on, the more they're going to feel like, hey, this dude ain't moving, I'm going to move.
See, like the question I have is, if you're dating a woman and you're a stay-at-home dad, I mean, what is your view on a guy like that? Kai, Mike?
Say it again.
Like, say for instance, your wife is the breadwinner, and you were the guy taking care of the house. What do you think about that guy? Kai, Mike, what do you think about that guy?
That couldn't be me.
It couldn't be me either. But the only situation
Okay, no. Not that it couldn't be you. What do you think of that guy? Let's say, for instance, my wife paid all the bills, made all the money. I just stayed home. What would be your first opinion? What would be your logical opinion of me?
If I don't know you, I'd be like, why don't you work? But the reason why I something I wanted to share, because there is one situation where I heard of that, where there was a woman who was a breadwinner, and I think she was a C-level executive, and it just was smarter for her to stay home. She was clearing, over $500,000 a year. If it worked for them, I mean, that's what it is. If it works for one household, it's really not any of my business. Personally, I couldn't do it. I have too many things that I want to do. So even if I was sitting home, I would have a bunch of ideas of things that I want to, try to do to bring in revenue in the home, because it's just the way my head works. But yeah, I mean, to each his own, I guess. Now, if
it happens all the time.
I'll say this: I hear more stories about women meeting guys that don't want to do anything.
Yeah,
that's
different.
That's different, though.
That's different. That's different.
No, I've heard for years and years and years. I mean, even when I first moved to Georgia, I met someone. She was the breadwinner. The husband stayed at home. He was the stay-at-home dad.
Did they have kids?
Yes.
I think that's different.
That's usually why.
I think that I think when it's a family unit and you have to make a decision what's best for your family, that comes into play, because if it either way, right? whoever's the breadwinner, and you're gonna be spending this absorbent amount of money to go to work. Because literally, me as a woman, if I have a small child, I literally have to use half of my salary for me to go to work. Just for me to go to my employer, I have to use half of my salary to be able to support that, right? But if I make a larger salary than my husband, right? Does it make sense for him to be the one to stay home, take care of the kids? It may not be the non-traditional, but if that works for my family, and we're a family unit, then that works, right? But I think if as
Would you think that guy'd be less of a man?
no, I would not think of him less as a man. I would not. All I'm saying is that I think that works if you have kids. Now, if you are able-bodied and you are in a relationship with someone and kids are not a factor, I am not supporting anyone.
Right.
You need to go up. You need to go out and work. Like, we don't have to. I can make more money. You know, we don't have to be on the same pay scale. You don't have to make this absorbent amount of money more than me. But yeah, if it's just a regular one-on-one,
I don't agree. I understand where you're coming from. The only reason I don't agree with you is because I was a single mom, so were you. You had to make it happen.
right?
So anything that you did, even if half your check was gone, you still had to put those kids in the daycare. So his money is now something that you could put on top, so you have more money. It doesn't mean he doesn't have to work. You still got to pay the daycare, so you still got more income than you would have had coming in. So that's the only reason I'm not subscribing to that particular thing. But what's the next topic? Because we ain't got no damn topic today.
Do you women have a problem dating with a guy who makes less than you?
No, I don't. Well, how less we talking?
Bingo.
Okay, go see. If you make, sometimes he makes only 30% of your salary.
It would be hard.
Really?
That would be okay. I mean, if you're talking about like, I don't know. We had this conversation before. If you working at McDonald's and you ain't got no ambition,
Well, you ain't gonna be talking to no dude at McDonald's anyway.
But you don't know.
No, there's a lot of old dudes at McDonald's.
What if he's a manager at McDonald's or a shift supervisor at McDonald's?
Hold up. What did you say?
I said there's a lot of older men who still work at McDonald's now.
What does that have to do with anything? Your ass is old too, dude.
No, he said you're not going to talk to any man at McDonald's. And I said there's a lot of grown men who are like, assistant managers.
No, you said old men.
Okay.
So are you trying to say I'm old?
No, I never said that. I never said that at all.
It sounded like that's what you was trying to say. You old too, by the way.
Yeah, but the thing is though, old men can get young women, so it's okay.
Oh, that's why there's cougars. Like older women can get young men too.
For sure.
I'm sorry, honey.
All day.
See, you got a problem with older women. Who hurt you?
You did.
I hurt you.
Here you go, Melissa.
Somebody hurt you.
No, I'm not.
Keep cutting them.
What is that, fool?
It's a shank. It's a shank. I haven't got some of these for you, so you can cut deeper. Women
are only as old as they feel. I'm not old, boo. I just get started.
I mean, but you make that comment like it's okay for a man. What about a man who is are you guys gonna date a woman that makes maybe 1/3 of your salary?
Guys will do it in a second.
Yep.
Right.
Because they want to control them.
No one wants to control nobody. You're so extra.
There you go, Melissa. You can cut and then you can brush it up. I got all the props you need, boo. You can cut us and then clean it up.
Why you want younger women? We ain't got no damn question, no damn topic. Why y'all want younger women?
I don't seek them out.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you meet, a lot of times, but can I say black don't crack on this show? Black don't crack. So you might meet a woman in her 40s and she look like she in her 30s. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you might meet a woman in her 30s, and just her maturity level just makes her seem older, and you might not even know her age, and you're like, damn, this woman is very mature. And then you find out that she's 34, 35, and you 51.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of six in one hand and half a dozen in the other. It goes to your own personal principles and your own and how you move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it boils down to. Me personally, I don't go around looking like, all right, 35, 34. If I happen to meet somebody at the bar and they end up being 36, 37, then they 36, 37. If they don't act right, then they gotta go. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
One more time.
The age range, but there's been older. My range of women that I've talked to have been um, as old as probably 5 years older than me. Um, but
5 years older.
hmm and there's been women that talk to me, in their 20s. Now I kind of
Doc's face, man.
I don't know what they.
I think you were onto something,
can
Melissa, when you
I can
said
see
this dude has something against older women.
And you got
Have anything older
What
women.
is that face about then, bro? You the only one making faces when he said he
Yeah.
thinks
Somebody
somebody
hurt
5 years
you.
older than him.
See,
Yeah.
first off, what are you doing?
I don't know, man. Maybe I just need to shut my mouth and drink my juice. This is apple juice, by the way, folks.
But anyway, I've dated younger women and older women. It's whatever.
There's no need to insult women who are
not at all.
older.
No,
No, you
not
don't
at all.
insult.
Not at all.
No.
I have a question though, when it comes to older women or just dating older people. Do you feel like there's a red flag there when they're older and never been in a serious relationship or married?
Nah.
Not married. I think I see it as a red flag with anybody, no matter what age you are, that you've never been in a relationship longer than a year. It really sounds strange to me when anybody I talk to, when I ask them what's their longest relationship, and they say, "Oh, a year." I don't understand how's that a relationship in just a year? I don't understand.
Yeah.
So that is a red flag, but that happens with many different ages. That is not just older, and that's not just younger. Because I haven't talked to anybody who is so young where it's like, oh, a year, okay, well you got time. No, if I talk to anybody and it's they've only come with somebody for a year is the longest. Then
And some
Right.
people don't want to be married.
yeah.
Some people just want companionship. It's not a red flag. It's a matter of asking them why.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they've been hurt and they're carrying that baggage. You don't know, or they just don't. They want
They're
to
comfortable.
focus on their career.
I will say for me, all of that. I still don't know if I'm ever going to be interested in marriage again. I really don't. I mean, there's a lot that happened, and there's a lot that I think about that I dodged a bullet, and what could have happened in the marriage, what else could have happened in the marriage, and what could have happened after the marriage. I mean, or during the divorce. What could have happened. So I don't know if I'm willing to take that chance again. Settling down, that'll happen again one day, but I don't know if I'm gonna.
But do you
I
feel
don't
like that maybe you're carrying that towards another person and potentially could hinder another relationship because you've already set that kind of like that preconceived, yeah, I don't know that I want to, I don't know that I want to go this far with this person. And you meet somebody really great, but that's what they want.
I don't know. That's a conversation we typically have in the beginning. One thing is I don't like to have right now. I don't like to have conversations with anybody that go like, "Are you looking for a marriage? Do you want to have children now?" Um, sometimes even a relationship. Are you ready to get in a relationship right now? Because that's what I'm looking for. That's not how I'm approaching any of that now. I'm still in the and I think I'm going to be this way for a while. I'm in the mind frame of let's date. If you give me butterflies and I start falling for you, then we're moving in the right direction. but I noticed that there's a lot of women that I've dated where they are such in a hurry. Oh, I gotta find this relationship, gotta find this relationship, gotta find somebody who wants to get married, gotta find somebody who gets that stuff gets on my nerves hearing. I can't.
Yeah, it's just different. But there's the book. Women are from Venus, men are from Mars. Like you, there's two. There's a different
That biological
plateau that
clock.
women reach where they want their clock is right. Their clock is ticking. They want to go down the aisle. They won't want to be like what Andy said. Some women, I'm X age or old, as Doc says, and I'm unmarried. So, some women have that hang up.
Yeah, I'm also notice that
Mother
I'm
flower.
I'm al-
Next question.
Hold on, I
Okay.
want to say something else. I want to say one more thing. Is I notice a lot of women who are in so much of a rush to get married, just to get married, that I see a lot of them just they fall apart too. And I don't wish that on anybody, but it just seems like there's so many people who are urgent. And the statistics are still pretty high of how many marriages actually succeed after a certain period of time.
But I feel like it's
Yeah,
not
only
just
6% of the marriages I just saw because I was looking at um, Jimmy Carter. He and his wife have been married for 76
Wow.
years.
Wow.
And the statistic was people don't even get past 50%. Only 6% of the marriages get to 50
well, we
years.
go into relationships now with an expiration date anyway. But I feel like that it's not only women that are in a rush. I mean, for me, men don't want to date. They want to like, they want, let me buy you dinner, all right? Like let's hook up. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to. If you're in a rush, that's gonna be like my immediate. I don't want to talk.
You
to
talk about it in a rush for
Well,
like
you're
that?
not old yet, Andy. So you have some time.
How old
You're
is
not
Andy?
old
Just
yet.
in a rush in general. In a rush.
You don't need to know.
And you were talking about in a rush for that. Oh, okay.
Yes, that
Yes.
and
Oh,
yes.
that's every
Okay.
guy though.
I think people are really no. I think people are. I think a lot of men. This is my perception. I think a lot of men are very, I take you out one or two times and we're good to sleep together.
No, I've turned down. No, I've turned down some
Ready
women who, you remember what Drake said? He said that ain't for free. Now I've told women before
Yeah.
too, like this is too soon. I need to get to know you better.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
it
women
ain't
are
just
fast,
guys.
baby.
Women are fast too.
Ricky Bobby
Women are
fast.
real, women are
I'm
real
not saying
fast.
that. Yes. But I don't think it's
Before the
sex
crash.
factor. I don't think it's just the sex factor. I think it's like having been a single mom, I was always super protective of who I brought around my son. So I never wanted him to see me with multiple people, multiple relationships. Like I was just never. I'm still like that. I'm not bringing anybody home.
Yeah, but
unless
that's a
I
different
actually feel
dynamic.
like
So
I'm
you had a reason to put
know.
those kind of parameters and boundaries in place. Now you talking about? I met some women where they were like, "Look, if it don't happen tonight, it ain't gonna happen." I've had a woman told me
Well, I
that,
mean,
Melissa.
So what's the question? What's the
Well, I've had a woman told
No,
me,
go ahead.
"Look, if I get in your bed, that means I want to sleep with you." And I'm like, I don't think. I thought Mike Tyson probably thought that too, and it didn't work out for him. You know what I'm saying? So I was just,
Not very
and
well.
then number two, I don't be messing around. If we went on a date and we end up going to my house and we've been drinking and we kind of tipsy, nope, game. I'm not doing that because I'm not gonna be on somebody's front news with Fox Atlanta.
you respectable? But we get into topics, and we ain't got no damn topic. What's the next question?
I got a question specifically for Andy, and Melissa, you can ask it too if you have
If I'm not too old.
no, it has nothing to do with your age. Let me
Mother
give the
flower.
question first. Andy, when your son gets old enough to date, what kind of advice would you give him about dating? And also, what would you look for with the type of women that he brings home to protect your son from? And Melissa, if you had a son, how would you answer that as well?
I think when it comes to my son in general, I don't really tell him necessarily first what to look for as much as I tell him on who he should be. Right? I'm not a man, so I can't tell him how to be a man, but I can tell him what the things that he should do. Like how he should conduct himself, because I feel like regardless of whatever woman comes into his life, right? He has to be able to be a good man to that person too. So I don't think I can just consider the girl that's gonna come, because if I'm not giving that person a good production from my household too, that's not gonna make sense, right? So
I agree.
for me, I focus on him and him being, him having sense, him knowing how to conduct himself when he's in a presence of a woman, right? And then when I talk to him about, the person that he wants to be with, because we did have a little incident with a little girl, that we had an incident of texting with a young lady that was very inappropriate. And I caught it, and I had a serious talk with him about it. It was pretty bad. The girl was sending some really bad stuff. And I gave him think about it, right? Like, if one day you are a father, you are a husband, would you want this to be the person that is next to you every day, right? Would you want to walk around with this person knowing that they did this, right? So those are the things that I talk to him about, more about himself and how he conducts himself, because I feel like if he's a good man and he conducts himself the right way, he's going to attract that same
but is that thing acceptable now? Is it? I mean, we're in a time frame now where we started out with parents walking into these nice ass bedrooms with their kids, female and male Carltons, and let's go fight. Now we have texts where, that's what, I don't know. It's just, it's one of those weird things, man, where it's like,
your children have to have to ground your children, right. Period. There is a lot of work that has to be done versus when we were growing up. We didn't have social media where your kids could be talking right now to somebody in Zimbabwe and you wouldn't even freaking know. All across we didn't have that. So now you have to take extra measures, like Andy said, to kind of school your kids on what they should and should not do. I didn't have a son. I had a daughter. I have a daughter. But as she grew up, I surrounded her with men because her father was missing. So the men would tell her how she should be treated. When even as far as when she was a little girl going to the Girl Scout dances, one of her godfather took her and brought her flowers. And he said, every time a man shows up, this is what he should be doing. This is how, at 5. So these are some of the things that ground the kids. Right now, they're not grounded. They have no emotion. Right? You on social media every single day. You ain't interacting with nobody. They don't have
social skills. That's the problem. Like I said, we had a little incident with this little girl. But my son will tell you, I'm a thug when it comes to certain things, right? Because I grew up in Brooklyn. My son didn't grow up that same way. So I'm raising a different person
for sure
than I grew up to be. Plus he's around very strong women, but in the Spanish household, a man is king. Like, men are served first. There are things that in a traditional Spanish house.
I don't think that's just to a Spanish household. That's black household.
Some black households and some other cultures do it, right? Especially in the South. I will say that. But I'm just saying, like, in our house,
he gets the first piece of chicken.
Exactly. Like, the boys get everything and eat. All of my sisters, we all have boys first, but there are different generations of young men than the generation that we grew up with. Because even though we gave them those values, we also made them know how to cook, know how to clean after themselves, know how to, because in my mother ironed my father's uniform every single day of my life. There was food always on the table. You know, my father did not have to do anything except bring home money when we were kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a number of black households as well. But
At what age
Last
should a
question, who's
man
got it?
have his shit together?
at what age should a man have his shit together? That is a very good question. Because men really mature later than women. I'll let y'all answer that. What do y'all think?
30. I'd say 30.
Qualify that, my friend, my brother.
When you usually graduate college, you're usually 20, 21. I mean, 21, 22 years old. You have a couple of years of work, and then you just start seeing the world for how it is. By 30, you get a good understanding of what's going on and what you need to do. And then you usually get a good standing life. You find out what it's like to live on your own. You actually learn to start cooking for yourself, because you really don't cook for yourself until you leave your mother's house.
I've been cooking since I was 13, bro.
Yeah, I had to cook.
And I was working since I was 13.
Yeah, I was cooking
And
since I was young
Key
too.
Right across from Cypress Hills Projects in the middle.
So you knew the value of hard work.
I mean, I grew up in the hood, but I never worked in a fast food restaurant. I never, like, my first actual job was at Fidelity Investments on Wall Street.
So I personally, I think when you get out the house, whether you turn 18, 19, graduate high school, you're either going to college or you're going to the military. That needs to be the first step to get out of the house. The longer you stay in the house, that is a problem for a man.
Yeah,
Get out.
I agree.
Get out. And so another thing that I think, I personally, and I believe this for all kids, not just boys, but I think that young men and young women need to go. I think they should go to school away from home. I've talked to women who have wanted their kids to stay close. I know one had 2 sons. She lives here. She wanted them to go to Georgia State so they can go back home and stuff. And I'm thinking that you're handing that over to society, and that's part of the reason why men mature so late, because they're still up under you. You're taking care of them. They're not really having to make decisions by themselves. They're still able to run back to you.
Do you guys have kids? Is it just me? Any of you have?
I got 4 grown-ass kids and 6 grandkids.
I have no kids.
And I'm old, Doc. I'm old as hell, son.
You ain't
I'm just
old.
speaking from experience of me leaving home. I think that was the best thing for me, is to leave. I went into the military, and when
But you got your shit together by the time you were 30.
I think I had.
But the military helped you do that. Everyone doesn't go to the
But he
military.
made a conscious
that's why I
choice to
said
do that.
35.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But everyone doesn't do that. So I was like, by 35, you should have
I
fully
think it's-
No,
matured.
I
35
think
is
it's
too
life
late.
experience.
Yeah, that's too late.
Men are not mature.
I will-
If you don't got it together by at least a minimum of 30, forget it.
Nah,
No,
come
I
on.
don't. Listen,
You can't be you
I don't agree
My-
with
you
that.
can't be floundering at 35.
No, my
you cannot be
son's
floundering at 35.
you can't be.
You can't
what?
be what?
Floundering at 35, trying to find yourself, trying to find where to go
You know how
at
many people are
35.
still trying to find themselves at 30?
They're still trying to find themselves at
Exactly.
45. It's no cookie cutter
I'll
approach.
tell you
But I
what.
think what he's saying is, at the Lord Jesus, help me. At the minimum, you need to have a car, your own place, and an effing job.
Right.
Those 3 things.
But that doesn't define maturity.
Well, but we're not talking maturity. I didn't say
That's
at
what-
what age should a man be mature.
Sure.
You know, but I need I can't be living with my mother.
What was the question
I
then,
asked,
Kai?
at
'Cause
what
that's-
age should a man have his shit together?
Right.
I thought you said at what age should a man be mature? Am I wrong,
I-
Andy?
That's not what I said.
You know what? He did ask it that way, but I think both of us interpreted it as maturity.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
say
All right,
this.
all right, so you got a mature ass man, Andy and Melissa, but he lives with his mother and he's 35.
Would
But he
you,
mature
That's
as
not
fuck.
maturity. That's not maturity.
no, hold on. But I think what Kai's saying, though, because I agree with Kai. So if 35 is plenty of time, if that man is 35 years old, he's not. He only has 1 or 2 of those things that Kai just mentioned. You know, he's either at has his own spot but no car and no good job, or he has a good job but he's living with his mom. And not talking about he fell on hard times, but he's been living with his mom for a while, or whatever. In that order, are you going to date him? Is he going to be a perfect for you?
He
No,
hasn't
but
reached
hold
maturity.
on. Hold on. I think there's a difference on the city that they live in, right? Because if we're talking about somebody that lives in San Francisco, LA, New York.
See, now y'all, it sounds like y'all making
No,
excuses
no,
for these
no.
dudes.
All I'm saying is that if we're talking about somebody who lives in they,
That's why dudes ain't doing shit, because y'all making excuses.
I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying that traditional.
There's no more in your glass, so you
I
know.
know. I'm just that's called hope. You know, a brother got hope.
But I do believe that in high,
You sucked that like it was something
I
in
do
there too.
believe in high rent city
Oh my
that
God.
you can find that they may live with their parents or whatever they're, still live with family. However, I will say this. I will say that for me and my son's dad, right? We didn't have a relationship with our child, together and with our child since I told him I was pregnant. We did not speak. He was not in his son's life at all up until he was 10 years old. And what I found is that now that he has a relationship with him, it was because he did not have his shit together and he was not mature enough to be even a man for my son. So,
See,
now.
but see, by 30 years old, you're gonna have a plan to find out where you're going. You're gonna have your things in place. You're gonna have a car. You're gonna have your own house or condo or townhouse or someplace to live.
What world? What world? Not every person does
By
that.
30?
I see, yeah.
Yes.
See,
No
it's
way.
funny to me how women can say, it's hard to find a good man, but I'm hearing y'all say, 35. Nah, man. Look, here's the
30
deal.
the latest.
Here's the deal. I did 10 years
35
in the
is
Navy.
real.
And I thought that those 10 years working on F-14 Tomcats as an electrician, I would be able to walk out and have a good job. And I did. I walked out the Navy at age 28 and was making $40,000+ a year back in '98. All right?
Money doesn't
Let me
define
finish.
maturity.
But I'm not
Things
talking
don't
about
define
maturity. I'm talking about somebody having their own shit. Because maturity doesn't have an end date. It's not an expiration date. Mature on this date. I'm 51, going on 51. I'm still learning myself. But in the process of learning myself, I will always have my own shit. You will never come to my house and see me live with my mother or with a roommate, because I will always put myself in a position to take care of myself. Period.
But man, you went to the military. You're bred differently when you have that.
Oh, you know
No,
what?
it's not
you
bread.
got
It's
so many
choices. It's choices. It's about
You have
choices.
so many.
You
you
choose
have so
to
many.
be a man.
Listen, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, I think it depends. I do believe that it does depend on the city, but having
doesn't.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
No, it
you're
doesn't.
equating it to living with family. So for me, it's different. My mother will.
Maybe it's not family. Maybe it's roommates. You live with
Oh,
roommates all your life.
That's different.
See, you know what? I'm just saying at 30, you got to be on a path.
Huh?
By 30, you have to be on a path to being self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Dude, if
you're not on the path-
you're not on a path by 25, it ain't gonna happen. Well,
I'm
let me
saying 30. I'm
qualify.
giving
not gonna say
you a
it's not
buffer.
gonna happen, but it's gonna be really hard to get it happen.
Well,
I'm saying 30.
I think we're mixing
Yes,
up
I think we're
definitions,
mixing up.
because I do agree with you that you should not be living with your mama past 30. And you should start.
30?
I do agree with you. Yeah.
Honestly, the minute you're done with college or the military or whatever, you can't
It
live with your
doesn't
parents.
happen for. All right, I'm about to end this because we're not gonna fit. We're not gonna come to understanding. But I do think that we have mixed up
I do
definitions.
think we have mixed up definitions, but I will say, when you're going back to it's how they are brought up or the experiences they have. Like my son's 15, right? But my son is extremely well traveled, right? He's been over the world. He's in the National Flight Academy right now in Pensacola, Florida, right? I make sure that he has a broader mindset than just staying with mommy at home or staying and just, doing simple stuff. Like, I want, when he turns 18, for him to go travel, for him to have those experiences, because I think that will build his maturity.
But if he doesn't, and he stays at your house till he's 35,
He's not going
and he
to.
doesn't get it, huh?
I think 35 is too
no.
late to be at home with your mom. I do. I'm getting ready to end this so that we don't keep going. But thank you guys once again for joining Girl Talk. This has been an awesome. We ain't got no damn topic. We will see you guys in 2 weeks, and hopefully we can get our boy Rasbo all set on the next episode. But as always, I see you because I am you.